Hi, this is Autie Talk. I'm Louise, your host. I've had my hair cut. I don't know whether you've noticed. I'm very proud of my haircut, but it made me think about what a nightmare it is to have your hair cut when you have ASD, when you're on the autistic spectrum. It was the moment for me when I read about autism, when I went, okay, that I think I might have that, because I always had a problem with my hair. Hate having it brushed, hate having it cut, and I hate it when it's wet. It feels like, oh, it's hot. It's just such the worst feeling. It really feels horrible. And it smells like wet cornflakes. I really don't like it at all. So I only have my hair done when I absolutely have to. I really don't like it. If you've got young children, or you have anyone that you know that you're a parent of someone on the autistic spectrum, you will know they don't like having their hair cut again. And there's lots of reasons why people don't like having their hair cuts, and mainly because of the sensory impact. If you think about it, a lot of your senses are here around your face. So you've got your eyes, you've got your mouth, you've got your nose, you've got your ears, all here, and your skin is pretty sensitive around here, around your ears, around your face. And hairdressing all is around here. And then alongside the sensory issues, you've then got to make small talk with someone, or sit down for a very long time and just sit really still, which for young children is almost impossible, and particularly for people who seek out getting some sensory stimuli, they find it difficult to sit still for a long period of time. So I went for my haircut and I absolutely hated it. So I'm going to have a little rant now and talk you through some of the issues around it. So first of all, as an adult, you go along to the hairdressers and you say, I've got my appointment. So then there's the organisational part of that. There's the booking yourself in, ringing up. Oh, hello. I often have a conversation with my hairdresser and it's her on the phone. So I say, oh, hello, can I book in with such a body? And then I realise it's her on the phone. I'm too embarrassed because I've learned what I'm going to say on the phone. So then I have to say, is it you? Is that who I'm speaking to? And she says, yes, it is. So already it's embarrassing just booking it. So when you turn up for your appointment, you have to make sure you get there on time, and they sit you down on a chair and they say, right, what can we do for you today? And immediately you haven't got a clue. You don't know anything about hair. So you just say, oh, I don't know. Or you take a magazine cutting and you say, can you make me look like Meg Ryan? And the hairdresser goes, no. And they just do the one haircut that they can do. No offence, hairdressers. And then they take you over to have your hair washed, which is the most awful thing in the world. It is the most uncomfortable thing, how anyone can find this glamorous and relaxing, to be stuck in a basin with your neck all crunched up like that. And then they always say to you, is that all right, the temperature? And it never is. If anyone's a hairdresser watching this, it's never a good temperature. It's either boiling hot, freezing cold, and every time I say this, yeah, no, it's all right. So they get my hair wet, and it's even worse when you're a lady of a certain age like me and you have your hair dyed as well. So you have to sit there for ages as they comb through all the dye. Then you've got to sit there as it takes to the hair. So you've got all this sticky stuff on your head for 40 minutes. Then you have to have it washed out. And thinking about it from a sensory point of view, you've got the temperature either boiling or freezing. Then you've got someone trying to talk to you while there's a bright light shining in your eyes and lots of noise in the hairdressers. They've always got the radio on full blast and people chatting all around the room. And you've got the temperature on your head, and then they're sort of scrubbing madly in your head. I'm really scalp sensitive, so they often comb through conditioner, and it's just awful. And then the towel dry at the end. So that is horrible in itself. Then they sit you down, and you've got the social element of having a hairdresser. Now, unless you go to a different hairdresser every time, you might have a rapport with your hairdresser, and that can be quite good. But sometimes you've run out of things to say. So you've asked every question of the hairdresser that you can possibly can ask. So you're sat there having your hair done, and the hairdresser tries to talk to you. Now, I like to look down and try and read a magazine, but they always adjust your head, so you have to be looking straight out. So you're looking at your hairdresser through the mirror, and they're trying to make small talk. Now, no offence to hairdressers, but you don't know your hairdresser that well. Even if you've seen them all the time, you have quite a superficial conversation with them. And they ask you quite a lot of similar questions. So they'll say, are you going anywhere nice? You might be having your hair cut. And then you say, oh, no. They don't really go out. And I think that's another issue with hairdressers. You don't have a lot in common with them. And what normal ladies like I don't like, so I don't go out socialising that much. I don't particularly go out and to clubs. I'm not particularly interested in my looks at all, although I am quite vain, but I'm not into looks as many people are. So I don't really have a lot to talk about. So I'll just say, oh no, I'm not going out. And then I said, oh, are you going anywhere nice? And then I realised that they're not going anywhere nice. So then you try and talk about the weekend. Then they ask you about your holidays. I don't really go on a holiday, or I certainly don't book it in advance. I've got nothing to talk about there. So she keeps trying to make a conversation about holidays or going out. And I go, no, not going out. No, haven't booked any holiday. So, and I hate talking about myself. I hate it, which seems weird that I'm here talking to you on my vlog about this. But I do hate people knowing things about me. I like to keep a sort of mystery to a certain degree. I really find it intrusive when people ask me a lot of questions. So I ask people questions instead. So I'll say to the hairdresser, oh, where are you going on your holiday? So I desperately try and get it back to my hairdresser every time. And I feel really sorry for hairdressers. They're always really nice. It's so difficult to keep a conversation going. And then you run out of things to say. So what I like to try and do is to get my hairdresser on a subject that she enjoys and just keep going at that. And then you have that moment right at the end. So you've been, all your hair's been cut, it's done, but then they have to dry it. Right near your face, there is bits of hair going everywhere, going down your top, going in your eyes, in your ears. Then they get hot hair dryer, really loud in your ears, they blow drying your hair. And then quite often they get the straighteners out and you've got really hot things right near your ear, dragging it through your hair, and it's hot and sweaty and loud, and people are talking and the radio's blaring, and it is really difficult. And they're trying to make small talk with you as the hairdryer's going. So it is a complete nightmare. And then right at the end, they do that mirror thing where they show you the back of your head. Can't see it. Have you ever been able to see it? I've personally never been able to see it in my life. And I go, yeah, just like with the temperature of the water. Oh, no, yeah, no, I like it, thank you. And then there's the awkward exchange of money. Sometimes you don't know how much it's going to be, so you're reliant on them telling you what it is, because it depends on what type of stylist they are, whether they're the owner or not. And then it's the tip thing. When do you give it? Do you give a tip? And eventually you walk out onto the street completely disorientated and really upset by the whole experience, only to look at yourself in a shop window and hate your haircut and burst out crying because it's not what you wanted. Luckily, my hairdresser is amazing, and I do like my haircut, by the way, and I'm glad I've had it done. But hairdressers, what an absolute nightmare they are. So think about it from your child's point of view. If you're sitting a child down, they often want to get about and run around. They hate sitting for hours. It's boring, and keeping your head really, really still is difficult. And then someone cutting and putting heat near your head and making your hair wet is an absolute nightmare. So particularly people who are non-verbal, if they are screaming and going mad about it, just see about it from their point of view. They might not be able to say exactly what they hate about the hairdressers, but when you've got sensory issues and social and communication issues, a hairdresser is a very, very difficult place to go to. Is it worth it? I don't know, you judge for yourself. I quite like my hairdo.